All right, welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Bernd. Evan, how we doing, man?
We're doing, we're stressed right now as a Bucks fan. We're stressed.
I'm stressed. Jesus, I'm not even playing the games, and I'm stressed out. Okay, and the reason why I'm stressed out, okay, because I'm just watching the atrocity that's in front of me. Now, you guys might think, Corey, what are we talking about? Like, we're winning. These aren't the type of wins I want to have, Evan.
No.
They're not the type of wins I want to have. I don't want every win to be like 135, 133, like defensive, like we're playing. We're not in the All-Star game here, Evan. We're not. Okay. And this is what concerns me. Okay. So we'll get into the games in a moment. But what concerns me is the fact that this team's lack of like defensive, wherewithal. Like the fact that they just don't have the ability to want to stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a concern. It really is. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. This team's defense is not going to get better. It's not. You can't start off defensively. You can't start off that poor and then be like, "Wow, by the end of the season, this team's going to be top 5."
No.
They need to add someone. Okay, they need to add another wing defender. Okay, maybe I don't think you can't ask Andre Jackson Jr. to fix this team's defensive problems. You just can't. Okay, someone has to be added. Like whether it's a midseason trade or at the deadline, someone's gonna have to be added. Okay, because you can't just defend at the level that Milwaukee's defending at, which is frustrating. Because they have a lot of good defenders. They have a lot of good defenders. Okay, not Damian Lillard. I'm discounting him because we didn't exactly bring him in for his defense. Okay, but geez Louise, people were hyping up Malik Beasley as if he's the next Drew Holiday. And I'm like, there is no next Drew Holiday. There's one Drew Holiday.
And he's gone.
So, and obviously Evan brought this to my attention. Okay, Malik Beasley's defensive effort was a part of a viral moment on Thursday night against Indiana, where he just let a guy go past him. Now, look, am I really surprised to see that? No, because it feels like that's how half of Milwaukee's been defending this year. Easy layups, easy threes, easy dunks. I mean, it's just like so. I don't know if Adrian Griffin's working these guys too hard in practice. I don't know how often they're spending on defensive drills, but it's clearly not enough time. It's clearly not enough time because, goodness gracious, I've never seen Milwaukee's defense be so bad. But, of course, I shouldn't be surprised because of the excitement of bringing in a dynamic offensive player like Milwaukee. Of course, our defense sucks. We can never have two good things at the same time.
No.
Either our offense is shit or our defense is really good or vice versa.
Yes.
We have this amazing offense. Now we get Damian Lillard. Oh, but Jesus Christ, this defense sucks.
I think what frustrates me the most is trading away all of our defense for Damian Lillard. But Damian Lillard, he's scoring, but he's scoring in boring ways. I get getting to the line is fun, but to see him go 2 for 12 on 3-pointers against the Pistons, he's gone 2 for 10. I know he's gone 2 for the concert dates jokes that I consistently make, but it's we got him for his 3-point shots. It's non-existent. It seems like he's just chucking them up because again, he went 2 for 12. Now people are going to say he scored 16 or 18 points in the fourth quarter. He carried us. Yeah, it's because Giannis got a stupid tech that got him ejected in the third quarter, and then the Pistons went on a extremely high run. They scored 43 in the third quarter. But I think what's annoying is just the lack of 3-point shots that is coming from the guys who are supposed to be our 3-point shooters, and that we are celebrating comeback fourth quarter wins against the Detroit Pistons. It's like the Brewers. It's like us celebrating the Brewers World Series team. They didn't win, but we celebrate them because they went there. It's like we're cheering for beating a team that was 2-6 or 2-7 in a fourth quarter comeback game. It's like whoop-de-doo. Like, I don't know what else to be happy about from doing a comeback game. Every single game is a comeback game. It's either we're up 20-30, 20-25, I should say, or we're down 18-25 and we're coming back. Because that's what the Pacers game was too, but they still couldn't fucking win that one. The Bucks are bad. The Bucks are very bad, and I don't have a lot of hope of getting to the second or getting out of the second round at most.
And it's setting a bad precedent. Okay, because the losses this year, they're getting destroyed in the first half.
It's like the first few minutes. It's like game over practically.
Yes, that's a concern. Okay, that would concern me. Like, okay, I get it. They're working their way into the system, but God forbid, can we keep, like, if we're about to lose a game, can we at least keep it within striking distance? Now, I know what people are going to say. Oh, well, you know, they came back against the Pacers. Okay, but think about the hole they had to dig themselves out of.
Yes, they went up 10 and they still blew it and lost in the fourth. It's like
they had to dig themselves out of a massive hole.
They were down 18 in the first quarter, I think.
Geez, you know, it's almost like watching this team is almost like watching like the final year of Jason Kidd's tenure, where it's up and down. It's a seesaw. And this team wasn't supposed to be like this. Okay, I get it. Okay, like it's Detroit. Okay, like the fact that I'm looking at this right now, the fact that Marcus Sasser, a rookie from Houston, had 26 points.
Yes.
The fact that Cade Cunningham, I get it. Cade Cunningham's going to put up performances like this. That's fine. He put up a nice, cool, like 33. Yeah, he put up 33. Okay. Damian Lillard, 34. Bobby Portis, 18. But, and again, I get it. People are going to, I said this after it happened, and I will pull up the video in a second because, I mean, that was an egregious ejection. But okay, like just losing Giannis, I don't want to hear people use that as an excuse to be like,
yes,
well, that's they only won by 2. No, they have other players on the team. If it just takes Giannis to get ejected from the game for the team to play like that, that would concern me if they go up against Boston.
Yes.
Or Cleveland, or, you know, whomever is like Miami. That would concern me gravely. It shouldn't just take Giannis going out of the game for the team to now all of a sudden
suck.
Like their defense to start to play like shit. It shouldn't be like this. And you know I'm mad because I don't usually curse on this podcast, but like God forbid. I mean, I don't want every game for Milwaukee to be like eye gouging. I want like a nice solid win once in a while. And so far we haven't had that. It's been, you know, a lot of nervousness. Okay. And they play against Orlando tonight, a team I would expect Milwaukee to beat by 20, but now I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get out of this team. I don't
get blown out or they're win by 3. That comes down to the last shot, and we're on our toes until 2 seconds. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't.
No. And you know what? We'll address the Giannis ejection. We'll address it right now. So, because, you know, like we said, I'm sure everybody's seen it. Okay. It was an egregious ejection. So, in case you don't know the situation, so I'll kind of pull it up right here. So, here it is. Again, they were up. Okay. They were up 11 when this play occurred. So, let's see. I'm just going to show you to kind of what happened, and then me and Eva will give our reactions after.
Yep, here we go. And of course it was Isaiah Stewart. Bang, yammed on him. That ref right there thought he was doing something. It reminded me of like when LeBron got ejected for the first time for like no reason, where it's like, yeah, I'm that guy. Like I just ejected Giannis, and it. I'm still waiting for the fine of what Giannis gets for sitting in the crowd. But what sucks is that the Bucks are going viral for like the worst things. We're going viral because Giannis sat in the crowd and the guy was taking a selfie. We're going viral because Malik Beasley disconnected. We're going viral because Giannis had a top 10 game in his career against the Pacers and they lost. It's like we're not showing other teams that we're a threat because God forbid the Bucks are a threat right now. Any team could beat them. But that ejection was stupid because I look at other videos of people dunking and just having plays like that, and it's 10 times what they done. Like, I don't know if you remember the Kawhi Leonard one where Kawhi Leonard postered, don't remember who he postered, but he flexes with Paul George and I think it was Markieff Morris. I don't remember. One of the Morris twins. And it's a freeze frame of them just like pondering over them. It looks badass. It's so sick. And then you see like Giannis looked in his face, and then it's like it's stupid. It's stupid. People pay money to see these guys, and they get 2 technicals in that game. Brooke gets a technical, and Jay Crowder gets a technical. It's like they're whistle happy, and it's frustrating because it comes down to losing our best player to almost lose to the Pistons. It was BS.
And look, I want to I do want to I want to give some context behind that, because actually there is context behind that. Because I do see people kind of have the improper reaction of, oh, I see Giannis do this 1,000 times. I don't know if he does it every time. So I'm gonna give some context right now. So the player that he did this on was Isaiah Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you don't know Isaiah Stewart, badass. Like, dude, I would not mess with.
No.
I'd want to get on a foxhole with him. He's not a dude I would mess with. He's the guy who almost attacked LeBron James last year. Yeah, he actually got LeBron James suspended, which honestly, if that's his whole career highlight, good for him.
Yep.
But again, a dude I'd want to be in the foxhole with. He's one of those guys that you probably would like him if he was on your team, probably would hate playing against him. So why he did that to Isaiah Stewart? Because there was an incident earlier in the game between Isaiah Stewart and Jay Crowder where Stewart pushed over Jay Crowder. Crowder gets involved. Bobby Portis gets involved, and both of them received double technicals.
Mm-hmm.
So Giannis basically dunked on him, like stared at him for 2 seconds, and the ref just ejected him. And I don't like this precedent of, oh, well, we're just gonna give guys technicals just for showing emotion. See, I don't like that. Okay. Like Adam Silver wants to know about why people aren't tuning into the game as much anymore. This is probably one of the reasons.
Yes.
Okay. This is probably one of the reasons. You get refs like this, who honestly, some of these refs, okay, no offense, some of them should be reffing third world country soccer games, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And look, and this is where it goes back to the NBA's rigged. Okay, I don't think there's anybody who gives 2 craps about a Bucks Pistons regular season game in November.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there is no reason at all why he should have been ejected. And the fact that he had this reaction of just get out. Didn't even explain to him what he did. That's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And I get it. He talked to the pool reporter after the game, and he's saying he, taunted him. He stared at him for 2 seconds. That's not taunting. Okay. Staring at a guy for just glancing in his direction.
Yeah, it was legitimately half a second.
How many times you glance at someone in a day? It was a glance for 2 seconds. Really? And Isaiah Stewart, even if it was the case, Isaiah Stewart started this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden Giannis has this powerful ass dunk and he can't show emotion. I guarantee you that ref would be doing the same thing if he had the athletic ability to do what Giannis just did. I guarantee you the refs that give out these technicals would be doing the exact same thing if they had the athletic ability to what some of these athletes could do on the basketball court. Guarantee it.
And it's funny that Isaiah Stewart didn't even have a reaction to it. It was like, yeah, I just got beamed on, and he's like, he took it. Like he got it, It was like, I deserve that. And then Giannis is gone. It's crazy because you don't see Giannis get like all heated up like that often. Now there's times where he does, and there's times where it's more than others. But it was a turning point in the game because then the Pistons went on some stupid run right after, but that literally almost cost them the game. But again, they ended with the Lillard like 16 or 18 points in the fourth quarter to kind of bring them back to win. But again, it's one of those things where we're cheering because we had a 10-point comeback against the Pistons late in the fourth quarter, where I'm still not impressed. And this game overall was stressful, fun, hateful. It every emotion you could possibly have or have ever experienced, you could experience that in the fourth quarter or from the ejection to the end of the game. But yeah, I'm getting annoyed at just how they're playing right now, especially in this game and in the next game too. But yeah, I don't really know. It's a weird stand to kind of be in for the Bucks right now because you don't expect everything to be sparkles and unicorns and rainbows, but golly, it's pissing me off watching them right now, and I'm going to watch them tonight and be just as angry, and people are going to say, "Oh, well, it's early, like they're still getting chemistry," but it's like, how long do you need to build some sort of chemistry? Now, obviously, it's not going to take one game, but geez, they've been practicing for months. They've been they're tomorrow or yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever they played the Pacers, that was their 8th game together. It's like sometime two guys have to be able to click. But it looks like, again, no one is, and they're all just doing whatever they can to win the game, and they can barely do that.
Yeah, like maybe this is just who Milwaukee is. Okay, like how many times? Like you're right. How many times can a team be like, "Oh, this team just gotta get chemistry"? That was 2 months into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like figure it out now.
It's like I can't keep waiting for one person to kind of, well, it's early, so they'll eventually get it together. But it's like, but how long are we going to do it? Like, we can't keep getting these scrappy wins against, I want to say like 12th to 15th seed teams. These are the teams that you should be blowing out. Move on to the next. Oh, we're playing the Pistons tonight. Oh, we'll just destroy them and move on. Because again, you should not have let Asar Thompson get 15 rebounds, Sasser get 26 points, Cunningham get a damn near triple double, Killian Hayes 14, Duran 11 and 12, and it's not what you're supposed to be doing against these teams.
And like people even said like I saw a TikTok account of Killian Hayes were saying like he's not even like a good like basketball player, and he somehow scrapes out 14 points against it. See, that's a concern.
Yeah.
When you're allowing Killian Hayes, a player who has been universally hated by Detroit Pistons and their fan base, most of their fan base, get 14 points, like that's a concern. Like, and I get it. He's a random player, so of course he's gonna have his career game against Milwaukee, but still, geez Louise. Even the worst players having his like best game against us. Let's just move on to the next game.
Yep. Okay. This is
Trust
even
me,
worse.
I'm not going to feel any better about this. A 126-124 victory. Against the Indiana Pacers on Thursday night.
Every podcast we've done this season, I say I'm not impressed by any game that the Bucks have played this season. And I was minutes away from saying that I was impressed by this game, but I'm not anymore because they choked it at the end. The Bucks started out, again, atrociously. They were down. I didn't watch the first quarter because I was not able to. I was working. And I got back, and you see that. It's like, okay, cool. Then I was kind of following it on my phone, and I saw they got it to like 10. I'm like, all right, I'll turn it on. Then I watched the rest of the game. Holy crap. It took them so long to just tie the game. They kept it consistent, like 4 to 10 points, like in that range for so long. They tied it and finally got a lead. They got like a 10-point lead with 6 minutes left. Now, obviously, that's not a solidified win, but Jesus, you should be able to hold a consistent 6 to 10-point lead with 6 minutes left. By how you were just playing in the third quarter into the fourth, because their third quarter, everything was good except their first quarter. But what I think bugs me the most is Adrian Griffin finally did something that I was impressed. He got ejected from the game. That was the most impressive thing I think he's done so far as a coach this year. And for them to lose that game is so frustrating because, one, you have a Giannis 54 point, 12 rebound. He missed 6 baskets and he made 16 of 18 free throws. Like, you can't do a stat line better than that for Giannis, especially with the free throws and with his missing 6 shots. Layups, mid ranges. He took 1 3-pointer, but again. And then Chris Middleton's having a really decent game. He was hot when they were starting to slowly come back. Malik Beasley had a couple threes, and Bobby Portis, almost had a double-double. And it's like everything was going right in their comeback until they just gave up at the end. Now, obviously, people are going to say, well, Damian Lillard wasn't playing. Who cares? Giannis had 54 fucking points. How do you not win that game? Like, everything was like, we sucked. Now we came back. We're winning by double digits. It was a 28-point turnaround, and then they choke it right at the end. They go on like a 16-3 run, and they lose. It was like, what happened? You had everything going your way. What happened? It was like the Pistons game when Giannis got ejected, the other team goes off. Your coach gets ejected for sticking up for you because Giannis got fouled 4 times on 1 possession and still got the dunk off. They didn't call because Griffin got ejected. But, like, that was when you heat up, and they did, and gone. There's another thing I'm going to say, but you go.
Yeah, I'm fine with Adrian Griffin getting ejected, but also it's like, did he get ejected just to get ejected? Like, because I think he said in the post-game press or what? Oh yeah, I'm gonna start getting on these refs about how they treat you. Okay, that's fine and all. I really don't think you're gonna change their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mostly because Giannis is bigger and stronger than everyone else on the basketball floor, so he's gonna get officiated differently.
Mm-hmm.
It does almost remind me of Shaq, so I get it. He wants to stick up for his guy, star player, but at the same time, there's really nothing that they could do because theoretically Giannis gets fouled on almost every possession.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like a hole in football. You can't call every single foul. You can probably. So I think for officiating a guy like that, you have to call the most egregious ones. And I think at that standpoint, that those fouls were pretty egregious because again, he's getting slapped, he's getting hit. Nobody's called nothing. But by the same token, it's like, how do they know that Giannis isn't just too strong? Because a little slap, I don't know, that's not really going to withstand him because he's just bigger and stronger than everybody else on the floor. So, when do you call the foul? Because like a little contact, like do you have to just really just wail on? Like, how exactly would you call a foul on Giannis as a former rec sports referee? Not that, not that any of those guys were athletically gifted, so to speak. I don't even know how you even officiate them. Okay. And a lot of people say foul, foul, foul. But okay, if you're in their standpoint, from a ref standpoint, it's kind of hard to call a foul on every time you contact Giannis because like it'd be a 4-hour game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would average probably like 30 free throws a game, and that's not an exaggeration. But like you see some, like the clip that got Griffin double teed up, ejected. They showed like the background camera or the backboard camera of Giannis kind of like facing down above the rim. And it's like 3 guys like clearly like hit and stuff where it's like he still was strong enough to kind of get up and dunk it, but that didn't count, like I said earlier. But it was one of those things where there's some that are just so blatantly obvious where it's like, okay, like sometimes you just kind of have to call it. Now there are some that go both ways where it's that probably could have been a foul, but it's one of those things where you just let slide, and if it happens again, then maybe you call it where it's okay, I kind of saw that, I probably should have called that. If it happens again, I'll blow my whistle. But I kind of see that just overall. about Giannis being fouled just because, again, I hate free throws. I think they are extremely boring. Now, they're helpful when you make them, but I hate sitting and watching a minute or 2 minutes worth of free throws, especially like Giannis shooting 18. Now, he made 16 of 18, but it's boring. But you want him to get the calls that he deserves. And it's frustrating, especially as a first-year coach, seeing that. But I'm glad that he kind of stood up for Giannis. And I think that was important. But I think the worst thing about this whole game was their 3-point defense. It was atrocious. Tyrese was 5 for 9. Miles Turner, holy crap. First of all, I wanted Miles Turner when they got Brook Lopez. Miles Turner is one of my favorite centers in the league, and I think he's extremely underrated, underappreciated. But Jesus, can we guard him when he shoots a 3-pointer? He's like Brook Lopez. He can shoot a 3-pointer. He can do it very well. And he went 4 for 9, and all 4, there was not a guy within a mile of him. And they just let him shoot every time, and he made almost all of them. It's frustrating. And they held, what I think frustrates me the most about that is that everyone was hot, but they somehow held Buddy Hield to 2 for 11. Buddy Hield's like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. And they held him to 2 3-pointers, but everyone else was 5 for 9, 3 for 7, 4 for 9, 1 for 4, 2 for 2, 2 for 3, 1 for 2. It's like everyone was making them. They gave up 23 pointers. But yeah, that was just a frustrating game. And I said that again, or I said that many times already this season. Pacers are a team to kind of like swipe under the rug like they're going to be playing. I think they'll be a solid 6 to 8 seed team. But Jesus, they should have still won even without Lillard.
So yeah, actually, I'm going to show you a clip of like the type of defense that we're talking about. Not necessarily the 3-point defense, but more or less, I'm concerned about the defense. Yeah. So the transition defense, I'm more or less concerned about. So I'm going to show you guys a clip right now.
It's like the amount of guys who just walk from the 3-point line and dribble right up, and the Bucks just kind of sit and watch them. It's just not good. It's a lot of just open lane stuff, and it's kind of embarrassing to just not even put a body on it, especially Brook. Brook has not been contested anything this year compared to last year when he like led the league with contested shots. All right, yeah, there's that missed shot.
I mean,
it's just they're just kind of there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly like that's a kind of, and that's basically Mitch Milwaukee's transition defense to. Oh, la-di-da, the guy like runs, sprints, like something like on a play like that. Okay. And I couldn't find the clip, but there was one where there was a miss from a Bucks player, hit the front rim, and then they get an easy run. Doug Adrian Gifford calls a timeout.
Yep.
Why aren't they spread like they? You're like, okay. NBA athletes love to tell us that we don't know anything about the game of basketball. Okay, and that's completely understandable because we don't know all the intricacies of defensive coverages, adjustments, all that stuff. But really, I think we all know the concept of like spreading back on transition defense.
Mm-hmm.
And how come the Bucks don't know it? Like you can't play like that or do that in transition. These are NBA players. Okay? Like they're going to look for easy baskets one way or the other.
Yes.
And if Milwaukee's just la-di-da, just going through the motions here. All right, we missed. We're just like, okay, someone's going to run out. Okay? Like Giannis was like 2 feet behind him, damn near.
Yeah. You play defense on 2 of those plays, you win the game. 2 plays. I don't get it. It's just a lot of guys just having open lanes and then people just watching them as like Brook Lopez does nothing on defense anymore. I don't know what happened. He doesn't contest anything anymore except foul them. But I just feel like every time I see someone drive on Brook Lopez, they just get an open little lane and they just walk right up, lay up in, and then they're done. And then the Bucks chuck up a 3 and miss it, and then they do it again. It's like teams go on like a 7-0 run in 50 seconds because the Bucks don't play defense on them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, okay. The issue with Brook Lopez is they're trying to make him into something he's not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, why are we? This hasn't worked yet.
Like, okay, Brook Lopez should not be going a wing.
No.
Like, I don't understand what they're doing with him. But, okay, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. Brook Lopez is a lot better when he plays drop coverage.
Yes.
Okay?
And it worked the one game they did it. He had 8 blocks.
So then go back to it.
Exactly.
Why won't he go back? Why won't he go back to it? Why does he keep consistently trying to have him guard like Miles Turner or a quicker, agile big?
He can't run.
No.
Do we not realize he can't run? He's been here for too long for people to realize that.
Like, he's not like there's nothing quick about Brook Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
He takes his time.
Exactly.
He takes his time. You make it? Oh, thank God. Okay. He takes his time. I mean, I don't know. But I think you did get your wish because Andre Jackson Jr.
Yeah, he got some minutes.
Got in for
not garbage time.
4 minutes. I think it was against the Pistons.
Yeah, he played. He didn't shoot. He didn't score anything. He just he Tony Snelled. He was out there for 5 minutes. Didn't put up any stat except 2 fouls, but he was out there. And then for the Pistons game, he played 3 minutes, fouled 3 times, but he had a good steal. He's just a little antsy, you know? And that makes sense as a rookie. I feel like Marjan does that and still does that. The fouls that Marjan does, I think, are extremely dumb. And like Marjan's fouls aren't just like slapping the wrist, contesting his shot. It's putting the chest too much on a guy and he gets called for a foul. They're antsy. They want to play. They're finally playing and they don't know what to do sometimes, but give him time. Give him time to cook. But yeah, it's nice to kind of see him out there. And I feel like he could be better once he understands a little more of what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like the defense remains a concern. Okay, I don't know how many more times we're going to be talking on this podcast about the defense. Hopefully, not too much longer. Hopefully, they can eventually get it together. So, Evan, you got anything else?
No, they play tonight at 5 against the Magic. They're in Orlando, and then they're not back until Monday against the Bulls. We got the Raptors. It's like looking at these teams coming up. It's the Magic, the Bulls, the Raptors, and the Hornets. The Mavericks are doing well, but they should be winning these games, but they're not, or they barely are. So let's hope they can beat the Magic tonight and hopefully the Bulls on Monday, but we'll see. I can't even say that anymore because I don't even know what's going to happen. But I'm hoping they can beat the Magic tonight in like a regular Bucks game fashion where I'm not screaming and yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I feel you. So, thank you guys for tuning in to the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.